Hi, YouTube people, my friends, how are you? I hope you are well. I hope you are thriving and prospering wherever you are in the world, whether you're in South Africa, where I am, whether you are in Mauritius, whether you're in Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, America, England. I wish you are achieving all the success that you are destined to achieve. Now, I want to talk to you this it's afternoon in Johannesburg, so this afternoon. Um, and I want to talk to you about something that I think we overlook, specifically us young people who are building, starting out in business, starting out in a career, building investments. We overlook these things, right? But before I could do so, please click on the subscribe button, click on the notifications button. Let me know what your thoughts are by commenting and telling me what you think about what I'm about to say. If it has impacted you, let me know how it has done so. And also let me know which country you're watching from. It would be lovely to see some of the people that are in our audience and when they are from. So there are things that are better than money. Sometimes we place so much emphasis on money and we place so much emphasis on just getting it and getting it no matter what the cost would be. But in addition to money, we have to understand that there are certain things that when we have them, money will locate us and will be attracted to us. Instead of us going out to chase money, money will be chasing us because of these values that I'll be talking about now. These are the 5 things that are better than money. Number 1, a good name. A good name is better than money. There are certain people, they do not necessarily have to ask for money, but people gravitate towards them to give them money. Why? Their names. If you look at people that have built great names for themselves in the country where you are, in my country, South Africa, we have the likes of Nelson Mandela. Those are names. That's a name that is honored to this day. When somebody says, I'm Mandela's daughter or Mandela's son, there's a certain level of respect that we ascribe to that person or we give to that person because of who their grandfather or their father was, right? Because that man had a good name, And there are also other people that still have good names to this day. The names like Barack Obama, that's a very good name. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, those are good names. It's a reputable names. And you and I have to start looking into how do we make our names valuable just as much as these people's names are valuable. A good name is better than money. There are people today, when they even apply for funding from the bank or any other institution, as soon as their name is mentioned, even the criteria of what is required to get a loan is overlooked. Why? Because it's that person. They know for a fact that that person has got the capacity to pay them back. The person has built up so much of a track record over years that their name is trusted. Now, when you start out in your career, right, you do things like making sure that you pay your debts, making sure that you've got a good credit record, and making sure that you've got a good credit score, right? Why do we do that? We do that because we want our names to be good, right? If we need funding or if we need credit from the bank, we want it to be easier for the bank to just look at what who our names are first, and then secondly, the credit record, the credit score, and our good credit behavior then speaks for our names on behalf of us to the bank. And the bank is then willing to fund us based on that. So with everything, when your friends talk about you, what sort of things do they say about you? What sort of name have you built for yourself amongst your friends? It's very important for you to understand that for you to achieve anything great, you've got to have a good name. You might not have money, but if you've got a good name and people are willing to recommend you, you will make the money, right? The second thing is relationships. Relationships are capital. Relationships are sometimes, not even sometimes, they are better than money. If you've got a good relationship with people and you've got a good working relationship with people, money will always attract you because people invest in you because of the relationship they see happening between you and them, or the relationship that is currently existing between you and them, right? They invest in you based, not necessarily based on what they're going to get monetarily, although that sometimes, or most of the time, that's the case. But most of the time, they do so because they have a relationship with you, or they want a relationship with you. Whether the relationship is platonic, or the relationship is a good working relationship, they want it. They want to have a relationship with you. And most of the time, also, if one has got good relationships with people, it is easy for that person to raise funding for projects, right? If you know a successful businessman in your area, right, and you've got a good idea, you've got a better chance at doing the deal than someone who doesn't know the businessman but has got as good of a deal as you, right? If you've got a good deal, or if you've got a good project and the person has got a good project or a good deal, right, and you're going to the same businessman, you who's got a relationship with the businessman is going to get the project. Why? Because the businessman has got a relationship with you. So whoever we meet, whoever we engage with, we want to be able to build good relationships and good working environments and good networks with those people. But specifically, the relationship becomes the most important. It becomes better than money. The third thing that is better than money is influence. Being able to influence other people to do something is better than money, right? If you've got a product, right, and you want to sell the product. So for instance, this book, it's more than just money. Thousands of people have bought this book. They bought this book not specifically because I'm Witness Mdaka and they like me. They bought this book because there's a certain influence that I have over them concerning the purchase of the book. I needed to be able to convince them to buy it. And for someone to convince you to buy anything, they need to have a certain level of influence over you, right? And you yourself, with the business that you are starting and running, start to think about areas where you can start influencing people. Start to think about areas where you can start assuming positions of influence, not necessarily because you are looking at self, but also because you want to add value into people's lives. Now, people can see when you're not genuine and when you're doing it because you want to enrich yourself. But they also can see when you're doing it because specifically you want to solve their problems, right? So your level of influence as you solve those problems then becomes bigger. And then as it becomes bigger, right, they will pour money into your life because they'll be buying your products. Now, John Maxwell says leadership is influence. Nothing less, nothing more. So if somebody wants to be a good leader, they need to be able to influence the people that they work with. So it's important to learn to understand what it means to be an influential person. Even in the home, in the household, for your kids to start doing what you want, you've got to have certain ways in which you can influence them. If you want certain things to be bought, you and your partner need to be able to influence one another. But you influence by conversation. You don't influence by force. You influence by showing the benefits of the thing that you want done, right? And then number 4 of the things that are better than money is knowledge. It's one thing to have money and it's another to have knowledge. That's why these guys who win the lottery, they could win millions of rands or millions of dollars, but you find that within a year or two they've squandered all that money. There's a reason why that money has been squandered. It has been squandered because those people do not have knowledge. They haven't invested in their capacity to learn and uphold and keep knowledge and be able to also share it with other people. Now, when you've got knowledge, you also know how things need to be done. You understand how things need to be done. So somebody who doesn't have money but has knowledge has the capacity to attract the money. And then somebody who has the money and doesn't have the knowledge potentially can lose the money, right? Because they don't know how to look after the money. They don't know how to grow the money. They don't know how to keep the money, right? The first thing is that you need to know how to make money. Let's say we're talking knowledge concerning money, you need to know how to make it. Are you going to make it through a job? Are you going to make it through a business? Are you going to make it through a network marketing platform? What is it that you're going to do to make the money? You need to know that. And then secondly, you need to keep the money, right? You need to have the capacity to keep the money that you've made, and you need to know how to do that. And then thirdly, you need to know how to grow the money, right? So knowledge becomes a huge part of your journey. When I started my business, I didn't know how to. So you learn along the way as well, right? Now I know how to start a business, but when I started, I didn't know. You only learn by doing. So if you don't do, you will not learn, right? And you will not know. So it's important that if you don't know how to do something, you start getting yourself into that particular thing so that you can learn how to do it. Sometimes you'll not be ready. So I'm a father now, but when I was not a father, I didn't know how to be a father. Now I do know how to be a father, and I'm continuing to learn what it means to be a father, right? So for me, as I learn, as I grab this knowledge, then I'm able to do a better job at being a father. So same as money, same as career, same as business. As you learn, as you grow, then you increase your capacity to have that knowledge to do the thing that you need to do. And then lastly, of the things that that are better than money is respect. Respect is better than money. Can you imagine someone who doesn't have the respect of his peers, doesn't have the respect of his family? His kids don't respect him. His co-workers don't respect him. His bosses don't respect him. That person is not going to make a lot of money much, right? Because even when he goes and takes a product to the market, as soon as people find out that it's his product, they're not going to buy it because there's a certain level of respect that's not ascribed to that person. To grow a business, to move from one level to the other, you need investors, and investors need to love and respect you. Well, they might not necessarily love you per se, but they need to be able to respect you. And you gain respect by you being a respectable person. And how do you become a respectable person? You start by respecting yourself. You respect your time. You respect other people's time. You conduct yourself in the manner that commands the respect. And as you do these things, money will flow to you. You'll be a person of value that attracts money rather than chasing money. And what are these things? What are these things that we talked about? The first one was a good name. That you need to have a good name, right? You need to make sure that you've built up your name, right? Of the things that are better than money. You need to have good relationships with people, right? You have a good name, have good relationships with people, number 2. Number 3, you need to have influence. You develop your capacity to influence. And number 4, you need to have knowledge. Learn as much as you can. Read as much as you can. If you haven't read this book, It's More Than Just Money, read it. Many other books as well are in the market. Watching YouTube videos like this develops your capacity to learn. And then lastly, you've got to have respect for yourself and command respect from other people. And by command, I don't necessarily mean commanding in a forceful manner, but conducting yourself in a manner that draws people to you in a respectable way. Now, thank you for watching this video. Remember to subscribe. Remember to click on the notifications button. And remember to comment and let me know what your thoughts are. And also remember, it's more than just money, my friends. Have a lovely day. Ciao, ciao.